So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is now announcing that it will drop sanctions against payday lenders accused of running a predatory lending scheme. Well, that's no surprise now, given who's in charge. Vox reports that the agency headed by Trump appointee Mick Mulvaney has dropped the sanctions against the NDG Financial Corporation. That is a group of 21 businesses that the agency, under Obama, had accused of running what they called a cross-border online payday lending scheme in both Canada and the United States. Mick Mulvaney, man. It's, you know what the joke is? Again, Mick Mulvaney called the CFPB a sick, sad joke. No, him running the CFPB, that is the sick, sad joke. But nobody's laughing because everybody's now getting ripped off because they're letting people like this go. So let me give you some details on what this NDG group corporation had actually done. Now, the scheme, according to Vox, primarily involved making loans to U.S. consumers in violation of state usury laws and then using unfair, deceptive, and abusive practices to collect on those loans and then profit from the revenues. Now, this is according to CFPB lawyers back in 2015. I'm assuming those lawyers are not there anymore, or they're not given jobs to do, because Mick Mulvaney is not interested in doing any enforcement. They're not interested in doing any investigations. They're not interested in protecting consumers whatsoever. Now, they continue. The CFPB's lawsuit has been winding its way through the courts until Mulvaney took over the bureau. One of the lead attorneys defending the payday lenders was Stephen Engel. Now, there's an interesting connection here. Stephen Engel is now an assistant attorney general at the Justice Department. Well, golly gee, look at that connection, right? So he was defending the payday lenders, and suddenly he gets this nice position in the Trump Justice Department, while Mulvaney, who was paid millions of dollars by these same payday lenders, gets to head the company, or the agency, that presides over these companies. Weird. No, this is the corruption. This is corruption. Look, this has been happening over and over again, right? Now, in February, the agency dismissed the charges against these 6 defendants in the case, according to court records. The reason for the dismissal was not explained in the court motion, and the CFPB declined to answer questions about the case. We know why. Because guess what? They're friends of Mulvaney. Possibly donors. And now, of course, the CFPB is terminating sanctions against remaining defendants, according to their latest report from to Congress. Now, a federal judge had sanctioned the uncooperative defendants by entering a default judgment against them, which held them liable for the charges of unfair and deceptive business practices. The next step was to figure out how much they would pay in damages. That is a step that the CFPB is no longer going to make. And again, this is exactly what they've been doing. And it's not just this specific case against this specific group, but all the cases against different payday lenders have now been dropped. For example, in January, they dropped another lawsuit against 4 online payday lenders that allegedly stole millions of dollars from consumers' bank accounts to pay for debts that these people did not owe in the first place. So wait a minute. This company basically stole your money, millions and millions of dollars worth of money, from people who did not have a debt. That's theft. And here the CFPB goes, under Mulvaney, no, we're not going to investigate that. No, that's not a crime. That's, you know what? We're just gonna ratchet down our operations and not worry about punishing these payday lenders. They've been through enough. Now, there's a different payday lender, World Acceptance Group, which, by the way, is a past donor to Mulvaney, also announced that the CFPB dropped its probe of the South Carolina company. In March, a Reuters investigation found that the agency had also dropped a lawsuit lawyers were preparing to file against another payday lender called the National Credit Adjusters, and that Mulvaney was weighing the possibility of halting lawsuits against 3 others. You know, the only people that they went against that the CFPB has actually fined? Wells Fargo. I'm assuming that Wells Fargo is not a donor to Mick Mulvaney. That's probably the only reason. Or, well, I mean, we got to do something, right, to make it so we don't appear to be so biased. By the way, Wells Fargo isn't a payday lender either. You know, those cases that they dropped sought to return $60 million to consumers for these business practices that are predatory and illegal. And yet the agencies, for some reason, can't explain why the cases were dropped. But I'm pretty sure we know why. Payday lenders gave Mulvaney tons of cash in the form of legal bribes, campaign contributions. Like, anybody who says that money does not impact the way a politician votes or what they do when they're in office or when they get power, they're either wrong, lying to you, or defending Hillary Clinton. Like, this is another example, man, of the swamp. Mick Mulvaney, see, his corruption, you got to understand, the corruption inside of the Trump administration, it's not a bug, it's a feature. That's exactly what he was put there to do. And that's exactly what he was paid to do by these payday lenders. All they're doing is they're just getting a return on investment. And that's all it is. This is the number one reason why we've got to continue to fight to get the money out of politics. If you don't, this is going to continue to happen. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.